aus Afrika kommen, ihre Musik in den Markt kriegen, so, weil da ist eine ganz andere Musikalität.
Start your day with Sunrise Breakfast Show. The flagship morning show on Prime TV2. Wake up to breakfast news as it happens. Impact, the latest in local and international sports. Catch us on Topstar Channel 110 and follow us on Facebook at PTV2 Zambia.
Sunrise Breakfast.
Sunrise Breakfast Show only on Prime TV2. The home of breaking news.
What do we stand for? We stand for possibility, for the belief that every tomorrow begins with a choice made today. We stand for growth, for curiosity that pushes boundaries, for knowledge that prepares you not just to adapt, but to lead. We stand for community, for minds that don't just think, but connect, for hands that don't just build, but uplift. We stand for experiences that shape you, for friendships that anchor you, for courage that carries you beyond this place. Here you become more than a student. You become a maker of solutions, a believer in dreams, a contributor to something greater than yourself. This is where purpose meets possibility. This is where futures are built. Charles Brook Bassar University, where you stand for what matters.
Hello, welcome to 7 Days in News on Prime TV2, the home of breaking news. And we're coming to you live on Topstar Channel 110 and streaming on our Facebook page, PTV2 Zambia. Now let's take a look at stories making headlines. Chain collision at Musaya Bridge in Chirundu claims the 3 lives of 2 truck drivers and a passenger. A group of 20 suspected illegal immigrants from Ethiopia, along with 1 Somali national, have been found confined inside a residential property in Kabangwe's Chifuankula area in Lusaka. 5 men have been arrested in Ching on the shoulder. Over 30 villages flooded in Mongu floodplains as residents appeal for relief food. With the news in detail, my name is Maidon Kilalo. We begin the news on a sad note. 3 people, 2 truck drivers and 1 passenger have died in a road traffic accident involving 3 trucks in Chirundu district, while 1 person escaped unhurt. The accident occurred on March 18, 2026, around 14:30 hours along the Chirundu-Kafue Road at Masaya Bridge near Malengo area. Police Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chilavi says the vehicles involved were an international truck and trailer, a Freightliner truck and trailer, and a Shackman tanker truck and trailer, all traveling in the same direction. Mr. Chilavi explains that the accident happened when the driver of the international truck allegedly stopped abruptly, causing the Freightliner truck behind it to collide onto it. He says the Shackman tanker truck, which was following it at the rear, failed to stop in time and rammed into the Freightliner. Mr. Chilavi says due to the impact, the tanker truck lost control, veered off the road and eventually plunged into Masaya Bridge, leading to the fatal casualties. A group of 20 suspected illegal immigrants from Ethiopia, along with one Somali national, have been found confined inside a residential property in Kabangwe's Shifwankula area in Lusaka. The individuals were reportedly locked indoors with limited food supplies and poor sanitation, raising serious concerns about their well-being. One of those spoken to at the scene said the group was en route to South Africa and did not have any official documentation. Here are the details.
In the quietly expanding suburb of 6 miles in Lusaka's Kabangwe area, locally known as Shifwankula, a group of 20 suspected undocumented immigrants from Ethiopia, along with one Somali national, has been uncovered inside a residential property where they were confined under distressing conditions. The individuals were found locked indoors with limited food supplies and inadequate sanitation, prompting concern over their welfare. One of those spoken to at the scene said the group was in transit to South Africa and did not possess any official documentation.
Who are you? Where are you from?
I'm from Ethiopia.
Ethiopia?
Yes.
Okay, so what are you doing here?
I'm staying here, but I'm going to South Africa.
You're going to South Africa?
Yes.
Okay, so who brought you here in Zambia?
Someone let me to stay here.
Okay.
Yes.
How many are you?
Me? We are six.
Six?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have papers to be here?
Papers?
Immigration papers?
Immigration papers?
Uh,
I have no immigration, another paper, but I am going to South Africa by bus.
you don't have
Yes.
passport? Do you have passport?
Passport? You have passport?
No passport.
No passport.
Residents who gathered at the property say the discovery was made after a gardener noticed unusual activity and alerted neighbors, fearing that criminals may have entered the house.
So mnyama atamenza bwera kuti abwaseule apalema kunokinga sibachoka. So ndiye pamene apempaka mbwiri paja pamainyambe aboseula papita time ndiye pane wabwera bende wake wakinga motoka apa. So ndiye pane wangena mkati wasegura geti papita time futi bachoke pabwera mwana wamkeji wandi pambo apundira anko kwa kufuna ujumpa muntu I think mwangena wakawalala so ndi watamangira uza tawo nzabapeza mwamene umasiye ni mwamene umu so ndi bambopunda kawala ndi mwabwera wanyama atawachura mishapu wena ngwanya matumbwiri kuti bangene manje wana wakawala wapeza mai bantu ali 5 ndi pambolira wesi ndisi wakawalala
so chabwera mota ten checking mukati kapena muliko venango nimetangenera tapeza babiri walibisame oketani nawo nofoka nanjala chimozimozi azimayi ndo ambo watanzira chakudya tabachose
so ya maofensi aya tifake konzero pamene maofensi timanga aya fika maofensi atsunga wakawalala atsunga bantu ambiri maningi.
Police responded swiftly, forcing entry into the premises and detaining those found inside, while 2 others are believed to have fled and remain at large. A joint investigation team comprising the Zambia Police Service and the Immigration Department has since been established to look into the matter.
I wish to confirm that this morning we received intelligence that there is a house within here, Kabangwe West, where they were harboring some illegal immigrants, suspected illegal immigrants. So upon receiving that report, our officers rushed to the scene within this place, and upon arrival, they found about 13 suspected prohibited immigrants. Then they continued with the search within the community, and at another place, they found 8 more suspected immigrants. So this brings the total to 21.
Now the incident has once again brought into focus questions around immigration management in Zambia, particularly concerning border control, human trafficking risks, and the need for strengthened monitoring systems. This is not the first case of such a nature, as other Ethiopian nationals have been intercepted in similar circumstances in the past, highlighting a recurring challenge for authorities. Also at Kafanka, Prime TV News, Lusaka.
5 men have been arrested in Chingola for allegedly giving false information to a public officer after reporting that their private parts had disappeared following an incident in which they claimed they were tapped on their shoulders. The suspects have been identified as Mambwe, 45, Mansa, 24, Walia, 26. Sichalo then reported the matter to Chingola Central Police Station on March 14, 2026. Mr. Chilabi explains that the suspects were issued with medical report forms and later underwent medical examinations. which did not support their claims.
After investigations, the 5 men were detained on March 16, 2026 and have since been formally charged with the offense of Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. In a related matter arising from the same incident, Kapansa, aged 61, who was initially accused by the 5 men of tapping them on the shoulder and allegedly causing their private parts to disappear, filed a complaint against Mambwe for assault occasioning actual body harm. A medical report form was issued to facilitate this complaint. Following investigations, Mambwe has been formally charged with assault occasioning actual body harm, in addition to the charge of giving false information. All 5 suspects are currently in custody awaiting a court appearance. The Zambia Police Service reiterates its warning that acts inciting mob justice will not be tolerated. Such conduct endangers innocent lives, constitutes a criminal offense, and will be dealt with firmly in accordance with the law.
Residents living on the Mongu floodplains in Western Province are facing devastating consequences following recent heavy rainfall, which has caused severe flooding in over 30 villages in the area. The floodwaters have submerged homes and crops, leaving a path of destruction in its wake. The affected communities are now reaching out to the government for assistance, pleading for relief food to help them through this difficult time. In response, Western Province Permanent Secretary Smomo Akapelwa, along with officials from the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit DMMU, visited one of the villages called Lioyelo to distribute food aid to the affected households. More in the following report.
Western Province is one of the regions in Zambia that have been affected by this year's floods that has seen so many people losing out on their crops. Right now, I'm standing in Lioyelo village here in the Barose floodplains, where over 400 households have been affected by this flooding. Now, according to the local people here, this type of flooding was last experienced in 2009, and since then, they have never seen such a thing. Water is flowing in people's homes everywhere, and for them to move from one place to another, they have to use these local dugout canals. Crop fields were destroyed by these floods, leaving most of the community members vulnerable to hunger. As a reporter, this is the first time I'm seeing such a situation in my entire life. Now, the local people here are appealing to the government to assist them with food aid.
Utivezwi licho aruna kakalitibile mandu kafawe limoya ukupakuli musoro bonele urutuse sinambona nemina mezi kamangata rutivezwi rupirwisa mwa mezi mwa mandu mwa malapa kaufira kimezi no mundawo lwali kuvona mwa 2009 kwa fono ruboni kuli no bile omuntu na hulu chwale wa munu mwahaniona kutofumane akuli dichano no limile kaufera ayi banji kuli no uzile kwa masimu kachengu chwana ukafitisa moteni one day au kofita selisa mizo kupoya ono yokupa kwa muso kupa kuli balubonesa kucha luzielera.
A team from the Provincial Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, led by Provincial Permanent Secretary of Western Province Smomo Akapelwa, has today visited Lioyelo village, where food items such as mealie meal, soya chunks, cooking oil and other stuffs are going to be distributed to the local people.
Now, close as it is to the Lwanginga and the Zambezi, it's very susceptible to flooding. So they are victims of flood, and the Disaster Management Mitigation Unit is distributing relief food to these people. What we have distributed today is mealie meal, soya pieces and beans for relish, and also cooking oil and salt, plus liquid chlorine and water purifier. As you know, at this time of the year, people have to get the water, which you see in the plain here. There are no wells here, so the water has to be purified and chlorinated to prevent diarrheal diseases.
Community members in this part of the district have appreciated the government for this gesture.
Vitumeza kwa muso katuso erufumani kayona nimeno sofumana sakucha kaufela Waitumia rudi basikwafireza faa.
Lioelo is one out of many villages that have been hit by these floods in Mongu, Nalolo, and some parts of Sananga district. For Prime TV News, Marcus Bransakvita.
You're watching 7 Days in News on Prime TV2, the home of breaking news. We continue with the news. A 43-year-old woman of Katondo compound in Kabwe, Juliet Tembo, has reportedly been missing from home since the International Women's Day celebrations after a dispute with her husband. Her husband, Jonathan Jilinu, told PTV2 News that on the material day, he attempted to stop his wife from attending the celebrations, but she insisted on leaving the house. Mr. Jilinu explains that when his wife became determined to go and began preparing to leave, he took her shoes and dipped them in water in an attempt to prevent her from going out. However, he said Mrs. Tembo retrieved the shoes and forcibly left the house to attend the celebrations. Joseph Siambihi brings us this report.
Family, friends and neighbors are worried about the missing of 43-year-old Juliet Tembo of Kabwe's Katondo compound. According to Jonathan Jilinu, the 40-year-old husband of the missing woman, who has now remained to look after a 6-year-old son. His wife went missing on International Women's Day, the 8th of March 2026.
So after Navasamba in Africa, so nice of a shut up. Mamurea Quisa. So after by year, we just got India Women's Day. So Punja Scott India Women's Day, Nata, Karen, Takuleko Murea, Muyako Women's Day, Karen if you are Desia so heavy, Ikaren if. If a passenger in Sapato, Bambo Kuta Sapato, in an ascending Sapato, she dash English a moment. In Ash Poseranoko, then Awashi send up about to kill an Okuliva Ukokuriva Neba, Ecobayash Kumin in Sapato, if a Baishia no qui. In an Ashi Panopen in Benavaya.
One of the neighbors has also added a word.
Abal Mbasende Sapato bashing Shamish, Nishan Kalapo, a papa and Kovakat Kushupa Bash Posen Sapato Muk, Javana Maluba. I told in Sapato and Concapadia, Ambo Putan Matwa, now I call any fear. Bashwana Nabaka, Yatawana, that I'm the Fashalin. For afraid in Sapato, Abana Badina, Papa Baby. Abakashu Shupa, Swapa Malambo, Sanabaleke Balea.
The young sister of the missing woman disclosed that apart from reporting the matter to police, searching has continued.
Twashunguruka munsi mawadi, twasangira titabariko, tabariko ripoti ya ifyo. Na kumocha rikonsena kwena, twaripusha na kwena takudi. Abanga bamonako konsoko bali, chibatwishibishako.
Today, Sunday, the 15th of March 2026, marks exactly 1 week, 7 days, 168 hours, 10,080 minutes, as well as 604,800 seconds since Juliet Tembo went missing. Well, more to follow on the story. Reporting for Prime TV News in Kabwe District, Joseph Siambihi.
Still with Joseph Siambihi, residents of David Rimosho Township in Kabwe District of Central Province have been left in darkness for 3 weeks following the vandalism of electricity installations belonging to ZESCO Limited. The prolonged power outage has severely affected small-scale businesses in the area, including hairdressers, barbers, butcheries and bar owners who rely on electricity for their daily operations. Some residents have expressed frustration over what they describe as a lack of communication from ZESCO officials regarding the cause of the outage and the expected time for power restoration. Joseph Siambihi reports once again.
They gathered in haste, full of emotions and anger, to voice out the issue of power outage. These are Kabwe's David Ramushu residents who stated that this power challenge has persisted for 3 weeks now.
Tuonekesheni po tatwabafweka twalikuwa tobo tushakumayanda abapembela nga twakomboko kwe batu banko balaletefi badatu balaletefi
amalights yale butukira mu 1 month so 3 weeks nayi kumana panomba ni 1 month there
ama business yesu nayi abasana affected murando wa rights
dashitishama chicken pieces na sausage fyali sasa nishero nao derefie.
It was clear in their submissions that officials from the Zambia Electricity Supply Corporation have not been available to explain the cause of the problem.
The biggest issue is Vazesco, why for 1 month right. We have tried to Zesco, a regional manager, whatever Tawalipo. We have even tried to communicate with Matongo, spokesperson of Zesco. Now, it has been proven futile.
And those with rumors decided to bring them in public, as others stated that the absence of electricity has increased theft in the area.
There's a rumor which is circulating that Bazesco badi opposition. That's why they voted to campaign the president.
Meanwhile, Kabwe District Commissioner Lennox Shimwambwa has engaged ZESCO on this matter.
I think that particular one I was not aware, but nevertheless, we have had rampant vandalism across the district. The reason why we now have even an anti-vandalism task force. Stores at ZESCO has been overwhelmed, getting out materials, cables, transformers, and all other items that are vandalized. It's unfortunate that our colleagues in the mine GS section and David Ramusho in general have had no power for weeks, which is very, very regrettable. However, ZESCO has just made arrangements today. As I speak, there's a transformer that is just being moved on site to just restore power in the area today.
It is hoped that the matter will be rectified as soon as possible. Joseph Siambihi reporting, Prime TV News in Kabwe.
You're still watching 7 Days in News on Prime TV2, the home of breaking news. We continue with the news. President Hakainde Hichilema has urged the citizens to examine government policies based on their results, noting that the success of initiatives like free education is evident in the increased school enrollment. Speaking during the rollout of the school feeding program at Twashuka Primary School in Lusaka's Kanyama constituency, President Hichilema says the school feeding program is part of government's investment in the country's human capital and to stimulate development following the increased number of learners. The head of state has also expressed delight in Cabinet's approval of the free education policy to be taken to Parliament for enactment into law. Here is a report.
The school feeding program is a government initiative designed to provide meals to pupils with an aim of improving attendance, retention, and overall learning outcomes. Twashuka Primary School in Lusaka's Kanyama constituency is among the schools experiencing a surge in enrollment due to the free education policy, and President Hakainde Hichilema has now officiated the implementation of the school feeding program to cater for the learners.
And now, what brought us here is part of this package that the kids' enrollment has grown. Teachers are there, desks are there, the curricula has been improved for the better. But now kids cannot learn on an empty stomach. Hence, the school feeding program. I don't know what you exist for. For me, this is it.
President Hichilema has urged citizens to examine government policies based on their results, noting the success of initiatives like the free education evident in the increased school enrollments.
I want to encourage citizens of this country to be awake, to be alive, to be conscious when policies, first the vision, planning, policies, planning, and then implementation like what we're seeing today. Yesterday, this minister and his team tabled a cabinet memo to now pass it to Parliament, and Cabinet approved it yesterday. They need to go to Parliament for legislation to make free education legal. One more step. One more step. And I believe Parliament will approve the bill.
Education pays a country. Just see this country in the next 20 years. You will believe that the president
planted something which many countries are failing to do.
Twashuka Primary School head teacher Nosiku Mkelebai says the launch of the program signifies government's commitment to upholding the quality of education at the school, which now has over 6,000 from 3,000 pupils 4 years ago.
This feeding program, which started last year in this school, where we feed a number of learners on a daily basis, and according to streams, has benefited a lot of learners and their parents too.
Here at home in Zambia, we are now providing to more than 720,000 children in 1,574 schools across 17 districts in eastern and northern provinces.
Now, the rollout of the school feeding program at Twashuka Primary School reflects government's dedication to enhancing the effectiveness of the free education policy, which will soon be tabled in Parliament following cabinet approval. Also at Kafanka, Prime TV News, Lusaka.
Bali for you. Still on education, Kema Secondary School is setting an example in the implementation of Zambia's competency-based curriculum by venturing into crop production as part of its practical learning programs. The school last year launched an agricultural project in which pupils cultivated maize on 3.5 hectares, groundnuts on 1.5 hectares, and 315 ridges of sweet potatoes. School head teacher Mando Lubinda says the initiative is not only aimed at boosting the school's income and supporting its feeding program, but also at equipping learners with the practical agricultural and entrepreneurial skills. Meanwhile, school head girl Lizzie Mauluka has praised the initiative, saying pupils have embraced the program and are proud to be part of a successful school production unit. Our Western Province reporter Marcus Sakubita went back to his former school and brought us this report.
The newly introduced school competence-based curriculum in Zambia is designed to equip learners with practical skills, knowledge and values necessary for holistic development and sustainable national growth. Nkema Secondary School in Western Province has taken lead in supplementing this core by engaging in food production through the school production unit. The school has grown different crops such as maize, groundnuts, and sweet potatoes. School head teacher Mandolo Minda took me through the farms and now explains the motivation behind this cause.
We thought of the new curriculum that has come in, that is competence-based, and we felt agriculture could do the best. And we rolled it out to all our learners at Nkema Secondary School so that they should know, and we impart skills into them. They should know what type of maize should they plant, what time should they apply fertilizer, what time should they do weeding. And as a school, we feel we have achieved that because it involved all the teachers. We came up with this idea, let's go into agricultural production. And we have scored. And I thank our teachers for making it. And everyone on board, the learners themselves, they worked willingly. And we have achieved the goal.
Arthur Mobiaita is the school production unit coordinator.
We did 3.5 hectares of maize, and we have about 315 ridges of sweet potatoes. All that is to ensure that we supplement to the effort that the government has already done. As you could have seen and known, that there is a feeding program that is that has been rolled out to schools where learners are feeding. So it is from that angle that we saw it fit into doing production so that learners don't just depend on what is being given by the government.
As a school, we've achieved, so it's just an encouragement. The president himself is a farmer, and he always encourages each and everyone at least to have a piece of land where one can do one or two things. So it's just an encouragement that we've made it.
Pupils at the school are happy with the knowledge and skills being imparted in them.
We are being taught skills because we know even after we'll be done with the school, we'll be able to be farming on our own because we have learned the school from our teachers. And it is also helping us a lot because there are programs like NASA's, sports and athletics. So when we go that side, we don't suffer much because we have food already in the school.
It is going to help us because we are going to earn a living from this. Even if I'm not employed by government, I'll still do the farming because I've learned it at this school.
Production units in schools are vital for fostering self-reliance, providing practical and hands-on entrepreneurial skills. Nkema Secondary School is expecting a bumper harvest this year. For Prime TV News in Nkema District, Marcus Ransapita reporting.
The opposition Citizens First CF Party has called on the Electoral Commission of Zambia (ECZ) to reopen the voter verification exercise once the ongoing delimitation of constituencies is completed. Party Deputy Secretary General Kasese Bota says many Zambians risk being disenfranchised in the upcoming general elections after failing to verify their voter registration details due to challenges experienced during the exercise. Last week, the Electoral Commission of Zambia closed the inspection of the provisional register of voters, stating that it was satisfied that a reasonable number of registered voters had verified their details. However, Dr. Bota said her party remains concerned with the Commission's handling of the process, noting that the voter verification exercise reportedly started 2 weeks later than scheduled. Favourite Chisi now reports.
Mountain over Zambia's electoral preparedness ahead of the 2026 general elections, with opposition Citizens First calling for the reopening of the voter verification exercise. The party's Deputy Secretary General, Dr. Kasese Bota, says the Electoral Commission of Zambia should reopen the verification.
And that they're not going to disenfranchise voters anymore. So we expect them to reopen the voter verification once they do they finish with the delimitation report. The report that is being done so late in the process of the election. I don't know why it is being done at this moment, really.
Dr. Bota has also questioned voter registration statistics.
Coming out. Lusaka has not registered people. For the first time in the history of Zambia, Lusaka does not have good numbers of people who are registered as voters. The leading provinces are Western Province, 40%, Southern Province, 30.4%, Northwestern Province, 33.9%, and Central Province, 30.5%. Lusaka is at 19%. Eastern Province is at 19%. Northern Province is at 19%. Look at the numbers from the census report. You know? Lusaka has the highest population, followed by Copperbelt, then followed by Eastern Province, and then Southern Province. So how is it that these are, when it comes to the voters' registration, the numbers are sort of skewed towards the other number, the other provinces, who are supporting provinces of the ruling party.
Dr. Bota has also expressed concern over the move to push the electoral bill through Parliament months before the elections.
Then today ECZ wants a line in the electoral bill which allows ECZ to prescribe a period to campaign. We are not going to accept that, you know, just because they have failed to live to the expectations and the nuances of what ECZ is supposed to do. They want to shorten the period of campaigning for the opposition, but we will not allow that. And even if the opposition does not allow that, the Zambian people will not allow that.
Favourite GC Prime TV News, Lusaka.
You're still watching 7 Days in News on Prime TV2, the home of breaking news. This bulletin is also carried live on our Facebook page, that is PTV2 Zambia. UPND National Trustee member Grace Chivube has challenged aspiring candidates to go and contest in constituencies where UPND has no sitting area members of parliament. Ms. Chivube said the party will not allow aspiring candidates to start campaigns in the constituencies where they have sitting MPs, as this will cause a division of votes during the general elections. She has also urged aspiring candidates who feel they are more popular on the ground to form their own political parties if they cannot follow the rules of the party has set.
Chipani chilikwete malamulo na chipani chilikwete milawo iyawa tulia kwamba ati tulanda tulunge sumino tulunge mwino muchilisho muchinkomba kwamba chigote uswe kolya kutuvele twakamba ati baonele bomuteleleje nonse numuli awo numa councillors 2024 sorry wezo wonse uzanda kuhima moja mtu ina masitting emupu kwa mtu muketeka sauta wezo naye akakampene kamba tuina emupu limo mulitelele but moja mtu kwete sitting MP no one should touch. He is untouchable. Ila konyo kusunga income ila konyo kuchitabite. The party can take care of you at the same time the party can bite you. Maite lenga mwinga akuluma. So mula wangu tulia kupanga kwa kwamba inka munja tuletea shaka inde. Muchaka pangilwa baina ndo wakakuya kwamba chitongo shaka inde watuletera. Uwe buyona uli chairlady na uli chairman na uli ward chairman na uli constituency uli district. Uhizo upanye malamulo aku national management ankam. Upanye malamulo ankam. Bana mayo amwambe ho. Bana mayo. Sazo mali nambu bachia ledi baya kuba pa tumenda sanda kuhimombo na munde hizano ndi grace amwe balamu pako so mwamula yo bujita hu atuweza tukumana toilette sai nkamu ya chipani njeni iyo tuli ya kwamba baba bali akuchita bodi ya munkamu aba muhwe kukwambana kwamba tubike mo batu baseleze nkamu bebe inamba bati chilengesha this fight muntu leta abantu muri sitting MP katana kuchita dissolve ni she is an enemy to the party. The party will discipline you. The party can expel you. If you have got too much muscle, you can form your own political party. It is allowed in this country.
Residents of the Mongo floodplains in Western Province are urgently calling on ZESCO to address the loose power cables transmitting electricity to Kalabo district. The cables, dangerously close to the water surface in the flooded plains, pose a significant risk to local residents, particularly those who navigate the waters at night. Western Province Permanent Secretary Momo Akapelwa recently visited the area and acknowledged the potentially hazardous situation. More in the following report.
Floods in most cases come with a lot of devastating effects, from washing away houses and crawling to ZESCO to quickly intervene by lifting them up to a normal standard.
Madam Pwake na mwamezi, kona kuirukupa muso, kuliba wangu kufereka bubebebe batolu chimpule la madam pale, power line ya kwa Kalabo. Power line ya kwa Kalabo, madam Pwa, nyenda ila fiafa kweza kuli, anizibi kuli, nikona kubala, chwani kuli ya kone kweza kuli ya eze ataye mwamezi. Kono mwarubo nila kame tuwa luna usinaliponi so da kuponza, kono mwarubo na kuli mwendiki 3 days shela, kapa 4 days, madam Pwa ake na mwamezi, kwa kuirukupa muso. Kuli wangu kufereka ubebebe kusikaba ni disaster komo kisasi chaba.
Kuna ni madampo amala ita ZESCO always mwamezi. Solo fumana kuli ukupa tuso kumina. Baba time aliluko za amala iti kuli mutolu nanulela madampo always mwamezi kuli akasana aluvula akafela na vakensa spaki yeko na kuvateni.
The community expresses fear should the cables touch the water surface.
Nani challenge tuna kwanu utata utuna rupaba ZESCO. Vakufile utata vo malaiti ya kwa kama mwamezi wanuka. Vakufile gatsa utata. Kuna zero hezi kwa hiyo kwanu malaiti. Ni watu wakashwa.
Kwa mana ni madampo abaZESCO ni munda chwana ama madampo akoni ne kuwa chwale akaswala famezi fali madampo ao enchangwe kona kuliluna abamuruka fite fakutimela kona kwa akafita fakuswala fafasfale kona kuluna kulukapira fakukena mabutata amane ni bana bamuna chwalo enchangwe.
Permanent Secretary for Western Province Moma Kapera, who visited the place, describes the situation as a disaster in waiting.
That's a disaster in waiting because people can be electrocuted. It can also mean that the towers holding that section may be bent already and they could collapse anytime. My appeal to ZESCO is that they should do a route inspection, see that point, and increase the tension in those wires, lift them up. Because as it is now, even a person in a canoe can accidentally touch the live wires, especially in the evening.
With water levels expected to increase in the next few days, these community members can only look forward to a quick intervention from ZESCO. For Prime TV News in Mongo District, Marcus Bransakwita.
We go back to Joseph Siambihi in Central Province now. Central Province recorded 4,987 cases of dog bites in 2025, with 6 victims succumbing to rabies. Provincial Health Specialist Dr. Isaac Banda says efforts to control the situation are ongoing, including mass dog vaccination campaigns and the culling of stray dogs. Dr. Banda has since urged the public to take precautions to prevent dog bites and ensure timely treatment. Joseph Siambihi reports.
Dog bite cases have become a public health threat in Central Province. This follows the number of cases recorded in 2025, as disclosed by the Central Province Public Health Specialist Dr. Isaac Banda.
We recorded about 4,987 dog bites in 2025. And unfortunately, out of that 4,000, we had 6 who actually ended up presenting symptoms of rabies, and unfortunately, the 6 died.
Mr. Banda has further mentioned that measures have been put in place to control the situation, as he expressed concern about the delay by victims of dog bites to seek medical attention.
Doing cropping of the stray dogs, and apart from that, we have vaccination of the dogs against rabies.
This revelation came during the Provincial Epidemic Preparedness Virtual Meeting chaired by Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Manakampwe. In his remarks, the Central Province Permanent Secretary made some directives as he disclosed that the province has also recorded 6 cholera cases.
Central Province so far has recorded 5 confirmed cholera cases, 1 from Kapirimposhi, Shibuyunji, and Chibombo districts. And I am pleased to report that all of these cases have been contained. I also wish to give a directive to Road Transport Security Agents, RATSA, to urgently address the increasing number of road traffic accidents, especially those involving motorbikes, which are a growing concern in the province. And also to make sure that trucks that fail to pull along the main road are immediately removed from the roads.
Joseph Siambihi reporting, Prime News in Kabwe.
Traders at Kazomba Market in Northwestern Province have expressed concern over prolonged disruptions to their businesses due to delays in the construction of a market shelter. One of the traders, Gladys Palata, says operations have been severely affected since construction works began. She explains that many traders are struggling to sustain their livelihoods, especially those with school-going children, as profits have significantly declined in the absence of a designated trading space. Another trader, Frida Luhanga, noted that the situation has also led to tension between traders and shop owners, as some traders have resorted to operating in shop corridors after being displaced. Jackson Mwansa has the details in the following report.
Traders at Kazomba Market said delays in constructing a market shelter have disrupted their businesses and reduced earnings.
Nei kufuma hampinji ya tuambwiruha market kutachika kuranisha uikuwa wikumba veranda mashopu twaranisa ngachuwahi wani akastoma yeranga yekwa wikwa nengiri kudumusaru kusaidi kuti wekaretu akastoma na kuingira wanyi uronga kukwambura wakusarangara mu market chengi chuma china rengeshi market utachika ina kuma nishidene kuishi 1 year 3 months market ina kumweka kuenda nawo yendiswa hii maniswa iswai wanyi dichi chuma china aburiri market kumana swai so etuna kenga tuzatiri ku market kumana swai muronge tudina nyana kashikola di mtu ahandiranga mu market.
Some have been forced to trade in shop corridors, creating tension with shop owners.
Timwabene bama shop bala idisha nyakasha abantu pula chura fya pa kutanzika. Ifo pano tulavota but utposera kwa manota kuja abanensi bambi bali bapuisha ma market chawa mero yambire market na ikwa. Messenger bali puisha ifo bakazomba kunota bali tuposa kwa mama.
Market leaders are calling for urgent completion of the project, while the council says works will resume soon after procedural approvals.
Ma campaign ya tampi. Kwa nenge mbacha kubamba abe ma market ya ziba vota bene.
To commence the continuation of works on the Kazomba market shelter.
Jackson Mwansa reporting for Prime Television News in Solwezi district of Northwestern Province.
You're still watching 7 Days in News on Prime TV2, the home of breaking news. We continue with the news. More councillors from the opposition Patriotic Front PF have defected to the ruling United Party for National Development UPND, citing ongoing development, economic recovery and improved service delivery as key drivers behind their decision. Twashuka Ward Patriotic Front PF Councillor Matthew Msonda says there have been notable economic improvements since the UPND assumed office, particularly in the mining sector. And PF Kaloko Ward Councillor in Kabushi constituency, Frolins Mwambazi, says she has witnessed significant development projects in her area, especially following the increase in the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. Meanwhile, Mankulungwe Ward Councillor Lombe Kaweme says many ward-level projects are now being implemented with government support, making collaboration with the ruling party essential. Details in the following report.
More councillors from the opposition Patriotic Front have defected to the ruling United Party for National Development, citing ongoing developmental projects in their wards. Twashuka Ward Patriotic Front Councillor Matthew Msonda, Patriotic Front Kaloko Ward Councillor in Kabushi constituency Florence Mwambazi, Munkulungwe Ward Councillor Lombe Kaweme say there have been notable economic improvements since the UPND assumed office.
So a lot has changed. So we thought that before it's too late, let's jump into a vehicle, that is leading this country. That is
there's free education. There is also cash for work. We have built classrooms, like 1x4 classrooms.
Aside of those things, we've seen the mines on the copper belt are back to life. The projected benchmarks for the production capacities of the mines is also on course. We are seeing production being raised.
Is the only book to excel.
Receiving the councillor's UPND National Chairperson, Collins Maoma, says the defections reflect growing confidence in President Hakainde Hichilema's leadership and the policies being implemented.
We can only ask you to say, please, as you, all people of Zambia, cry for peace. He is a man, President Hakainde Hichilema. Let's give him a vote. Sotsana, Sotsana, Sotsana. There are a lot of things that we can talk to. What about employment? For the first time in the history of Zambia, the teachers, more than 40,000.
And UPND Media Director Max Moe says the party does not discriminate between you and existing members.
Such that even if a person has just joined the party, in 3 seconds, if they are popular, they can be adopted. That is how we have Chipoka Mulenga as minister. That's how we have Kabuswe. That's how we had now this is the message we are giving. So there is no new or old member.
Favorite GC Prime TV News, Lusaka.
Well, that item ends 7 days in news on Prime TV2, the home of breaking news. But before we go, let's take a quick look at stories that made headlines. Chain collision at Masaya Bridge in Chirundu claims the 3 lives of 2 truck drivers and a passenger. A group of 20 suspected illegal immigrants from Ethiopia, along with one Somali national, 5 men have been arrested in Chingola for giving false information after reporting that their private parts had disappeared to floodplains as residents appeal for relief food. Thank you so much for staying with us. But for these and more stories, please like our Facebook page, that is PTV2 Zambia. On behalf of the entire news and production crew, this has been Maidon Kilalo. Stay tuned.